The Bad Batch.
Yes, we got a double bill.
Right. We're going to say a lot of very good things about these 2 episodes.
I
These
think I know what you're about to
motherfuckers
say.
don't learn how to light a scene nicely again. I'm going to lose my mind. How? Bearing in mind, in the last 10 to 15 years, this has been the most common nitpick with really good TV.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene at night and everyone's like, I couldn't see anything. Why are we doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Animation has the easiest escape solution, and Star Wars themselves have done it the best.
Yeah, they have in the past.
And they just now refuse to do it.
Yeah.
I loved the show. The voice acting was good. The story was good. These 2 episodes were so poorly lit. I literally was like, I'm not sure if it's actually worth it at this point.
The wild
They may as
thing
well
is,
just been an audiobook.
the wild thing is, for like the majority of the night stuff, which was like on the island, right? They had the start of it. There wasn't really an easy out, but as soon as the Imperial ship showed up with a floodlight and the size that it is, there is zero reason that that island should have been in the dark. So it's, yeah, I'm with you. Like they could do a much better job of creatively lighting these night scenes. A few instances, I'm fine with it being like when Cad Bane rocked up and it's like he's silhouetted and it's a bit darker. Sure. And then it was fine after that because obviously like he stepped into the building and stuff. But yeah, I'm fine with situations like that. But having like a whole sequence where it's set at night and you can't see them running through the streets very well. Yeah.
Episode 11 being 25 minutes long and me only confidently being able to say I watched 5 minutes of it is a problem.
Yeah, see, I'm lucky because when I watch this, I can usually shut my blind and it's fine. I can get away with it. But if I was watching this on the TV, I'd be struggling.
Yeah, it's fucking dreadful. And like the problem is, I'm sat there and I'm really enjoying the show. I'm enjoying the way the story's going. I'm enjoying how it's developing and the conflict of everything. And then I'm just like, what's that? Oh, what's happening? Like, what are we doing? Like, imagine if we just recorded the whole episode with me like in this lighting.
We do, don't we?
Like, what's the fucking point? We record at night when it's dark outside. Guess what? We add lights so people can see what the fuck is going on. Oh,
Yeah,
and it's an animated show, so it's not even like they have to combat it naturally being dark and then
you could
trying
just
to
put a
not blow
blue
the
wash
exposure
over
up.
it all.
Like they did in Rebels. They went, okay, what if nighttime isn't black and it's just dark blue?
Yeah, that's what I don't get is that they could just blue wash it.
In the modern era of animation that we're currently in, where everything is so smartly put together, I think this stands out as even more egregious.
Yeah, and I think also because I don't remember the Clone Wars being this bad. I don't even remember like the first lots of Bad Batch being like this bad.
Do you want a little laugh? I don't know if you have access to Disney Plus on your machine or whatever. Open up Disney Plus because I did this early because I felt like I was going fucking crazy because it felt like it was worse this series. If you type in Bad Batch and go to it, look at the thumbnails for season 1, look at the thumbnails for season 2, then look at the thumbnails for season 3. There is a big fucking difference in all of them.
Okay,
just in the
season
thumbnails.
1. Season 2. Yeah. Season 3. Suddenly everything's in the dark.
Just why? Why does nothing ever happen during the day now?
That's a good point. I don't feel like most of this season has just been at nighttime.
It doesn't need to be.
No, it's
like
very
in
weird.
reality, even if they wanted to go, oh, the Empire is smart, they'd attack at night. Everyone in this village was apparently awake anyway. So like it's not even like they got a tactical advantage. But if you really wanted there to be like, they attacked at night because it was tactical, you just have there be a little time jump where they've been running around for a while, and it's the morning and it's getting brighter.
Yeah,
There's this weird thing where they're like, oh no, everything's sad and depressing, so it has to be dark. So what if you had contrast? What if you manage to make a viewer feel really sad and depressed because they can actually see what's happening?
Yeah, it's. Do you know what I think's happened? Is because they know this is just TV in general, because generally everyone's TV setups have got better. There's less care now, which I feel like there used to be of. You would essentially, it was done with sound design mainly, but also with like coloring. You would edit to the worst setup,
Mm,
and you would make sure that someone with like for audio, it's like someone who's listening on shitty headphones
yeah.
and is on their phone can see it. And now, because phone screens have got better and because TVs and stuff, they just presume everyone has the perfect setup. So they color it in a studio and sound design it in a studio of like this perfect living room home cinema setup. And it's like people don't watch that way, and it's obviously now costing them. Well,
Yeah,
it's causing a pain
it's
now.
it's just craziness. Like the iPhone screen, because I watched the second episode at work today.
Hmm.
The iPhone screen is so bright. Like it can put out so much brightness that for anything that is a reasonable brightness itself, reflection of lights is never a problem. Because the screen is bright enough that it like counterbalances that. That's
Yep.
fine. But because this episode was so dark, I was having to like tilt my phone so that the glare wasn't a problem, so I could see as much as what was going on as possible.
Yeah.
And yeah, in an ideal world, I would have been at home on the TV where there's much better conditions. But guess what? Not everyone has
Yeah.
that luxury. Not everyone has the ability to do that. And I shouldn't. Oh, it was making my blood boil against an otherwise really, really good episode.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we
But
should get into the episode.
we should. We should. We were fucking right.
Yeah, the island was. I told you the island was going to get fucked.
Yeah. I told you Rekka was in danger as well. He's probably going to
Yes,
be
you did.
fine. But I was like, I don't have a good feeling. Rekka's
Yeah.
Rekka's been a bit quiet this so far this season.
Yeah, you were right. Wrecker was the kind of weak point to attack for the fans.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, the island's got fucked. The island's definitely not safe now.
Nope.
That island's forever going to be in Empire control. That's why we don't see it anymore.
Yeah. Them losing the island also means Omega has to die. Omega seeing the Empire do that to the place she called home, there is no way that girl doesn't end up joining the rebellion. So where the fuck's she been?
Hmm. Yeah, so this is the thing now. Obviously, like we were getting two perspectives in these episodes. We've got obviously all the stuff that happened on the island. We also have Emerie
Mm-hmm.
and Dr. Emerie doing her thing. Quite clearly, Omega left a little mark, and she's shifting sides.
Well, I mean, they are the same person in essence,
Yeah,
aren't
exactly.
they? It was funny though. I did see a lot of people talking about, oh my god, it's such a good way to show how evil the Empire are, taking four sensitive children away from their families and locking them away so they can never see them again. Because the Jedi never did that.
Mm. Yeah, but the Jedi let them go back and see their family. Their family was
Yeah.
never there when they went back.
Yeah. It's so funny how this is all coming together. The nature of the show has changed so much from
Mm.
just the weird clones who weren't affected by their inhibitor chips go on adventures in the Empire's rule to here is child. We must protect child.
Child is very valuable to Emperor Palpatine. Yeah, it's. I like that we got a bit more detail on the fact that Omega is the only one that's been found to be able to hold the M count. Also, we found that like M count can't be replicated. It has to have a base level there, which is kind of what we were kind
Yeah.
of getting an
Does
understanding
Omega
of.
allow the M count to survive, or does she have a high M count while being a clone? It looks more like she's like something in her blood can act as a binding agent
Mm-hmm.
to allow them to keep Emperor Palpatine's M count in his new bodies.
Yeah, I like they I feel like everyone was expecting that, right? Well, and I guess I should take you to the vault and get you up to speed on Project Necromancy. And I was like, oh shit, we're gonna see Palpatine clothes in test tubes, and then no, it's just a room of
Rumor
Force
kids.
kids. And it makes sense though that they would do the test on those guys and gals
I did also,
before.
I did enjoy the little, the question was like, wouldn't it be easier to do this with more like adult subjects? He's like, there's not many of them left.
Yeah, there's not many of them left, and that are easily captured.
Yeah, and the ones that are left are not here for a good reason because they've done a very good job of not being findable.
Yeah, um, especially when you think like Obi-Wan is out there hiding
Yeah,
somewhere.
Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, the
Hmm.
such like, not people that you're easily going to bring into a base like this.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I thought it was interesting. We got a bit more detail on that. We obviously got we got Tarkin briefly
Mm,
being like, "Why do you need funds? Do you want to share some information about this?"
Really interesting that Tarkin has no clue what's going on.
Considering he's like the one in like charge of the Empire
Yeah,
visually.
when you consider from like the point of view of the original trilogy, he's kind of almost military equivalent of Darth Vader in the eyes of the Emperor.
Yeah.
Like, you've got Darth Vader who's a bit like secretive and in the shadows, and then you've got Tarkin who does the same role as Vader, but
Hmm.
publicly. For him to have no idea of Project Necromancer just shows how hidden it is. And it
Yep.
also helps explain away the fact that the rebels in the sequels had no idea this existed because Tarkin didn't even know.
Yeah, and if it gets buried for some time, Tarkin's gonna be like, "Oh well, that was a failed thing. It got buried, unknown what it was. Doesn't matter anymore." Um,
I
yeah, I thought
still
that was
do
really
really want to
interesting.
know if Necromancer in the Star Wars world has the same connotations to this world.
I mean, they
Because
know
no
about
one's
like,
reacting like a project name that blatant. If anyone hears about that project, should be able to like that to us, that name would
yeah,
like be like, what do you mean by that? But no one's raising their eyebrows at the name. So I'm like, is it just like one of these like fun little bits where it's like it's very clear to the viewer
yeah, I
because
think
we know
so.
what a necromancer is, but in Star Wars world, necromancer is just like Bumblebee. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
It's just a project name.
or other project names are so like even more wild that this is like tame to them.
It's all just Diablo subclasses. Project Barbarian.
um, but yeah, I also I enjoyed seeing Cadigan because obviously we saw he was in live action and he
Yeah.
got killed.
Yeah.
I
That
don't
had me
believe he's
hype.
dead, but yeah,
And
it was
when I saw it was Cat, I was like, oh shit, that's Campaign.
well, and that also like links in with I think we talked about the other week when we talked about tier one bounty hunters, and we're like,
Yeah.
well, that'd be like Cad Bane and Bo's not quite there yet, and obviously there you go, Cad Bane tier one. Um, it's gonna be interesting though because obviously then all the island shit went down.
Hmm.
I'm even more sure this assassin is tech.
We're definitely supposed to be thinking that. But
The
the
way
fact
it
that they're being
hacked the
so
ship,
blatant,
yeah, but
I'm a little bit like, because there was times when he was speaking
mm,
that he almost had more of a crosshair twang to
yeah,
him. And I'm kind of like, what if it's not tech, but it's like
a crosshair clone.
it's a bad batcher who's like all of the bad batch.
Oh, maybe
Like,
hadn't
there
thought of
was just
that.
something there because like I completely agree. It's got the tech vibes with the hacking, but when he was like being intimidating, he was talking quite slow and low. And Crosshair talks the most differently out of all of the clones, and that was
Mm,
closer to the way Crosshair talks, and the way he's like been hiding in the distance is given a lot of Hunter.
yeah, I mean,
So I'm almost like, is it possible that they've
well,
reverse engineered the Bad Batch and they're just creating
possibly because there's we
a
also
Bad
saw
Batch?
like um Dr. Hemlock mentioned, didn't he, that the others aren't ready yet.
Yeah.
So they're obviously like whether that's because they're wiping their minds or doing all that stuff, or is it like you say clones, some like experimental clone?
And then, because you got to think about it, the Bad Batch is clones, which the Empire view as useless. But the Bad Batch have been causing them trouble for 3-4 years.
What if?
So maybe they're like, fuck it, let's make a clone that has all of their abilities, and then they'll be like our little assassin fucks.
What if they've based that clone's visual off tech?
Yeah,
But it's not
and
actually tech.
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking.
Possibly.
I'm not saying that like this clone isn't tech, and maybe that's why he's ready early, because it was easier because they didn't have to work tech's DNA into that clone; they just had to work the others in. But I feel like it's so obvious that it's
I know what you mean.
Almost a red herring.
It could be.
That there's too many elements of all of the batch in there for me to be confident in saying it's definitely tech.
I think it's just that the not seeing Tech's body when he died. Just
rule number one of any kind of nerd media:
right.
If you don't see a body, they're not dead.
We also got something else we predicted, which was going to happen, which is it's not quite to the level we probably discussed, but to save Omega, Crosshair was going to have to make a shot, and he's going to miss, and he took a shot and he airballed it. And it's like, it kind of comes down to, if he had a better shot, he would have killed them guards quicker, and he would have got the thing on the ship. Because I think it was less that he missed outright, he just ran out of time and missed. Which then obviously now puts Omega in a pretty sticky spot. Because we're gonna
Omega's fucking awesome. I look back on season 1 of Bad Batch and the way people spoke and how negative they were about Omega. And I didn't get it at the time, but now I'm just like, you wash your filthy mouth out. She is the GOAT.
She has evolved a lot.
Yeah. Being around the Batch has been so good for her, which is crazy because that's why she wanted to be around the Batch. She was like, I just want friends and brothers and stuff, and I want to be part of the gang.
It's going to be interesting to see, because obviously the way they've set an Emerie up is she's obviously going to shift sides. And I think Omega coming back, and she's either going to try and save Omega or sacrifice herself or something to do something to try and... But I also agree with you. I don't think Omega's looking great now.
Here's my issue. I just don't logically see, based on what we know about Omega as a character, any way where she survives this and then just goes on and lives her life with the Empire still in control.
I know what you mean.
Beforehand, if all of the Batch survive, I could see it. But now, having seen what the Empire does to villages and what the Empire are going to be doing to these children for Project Necromancer and this, that, and the other, if Omega makes it out of this alive, she might be the person who starts the fucking official rebellion.
Maybe.
And don't get me wrong, maybe she shouldn't die as a result of this arc, but she would be involved in the rebellion, and the fact that we don't have any way of saying she was there at the end of the rebellion means she died at some point in there.
I wouldn't be surprised if she does die at the end of this, and it's like she's causes the facility to get blown up and essentially mothball the operation for a little bit. That's why it kind of then disappears off the radar of everyone.
I can see that kind of sacrifice, and then that being what pushes Rex, Gregor, and
see, this is the
Wolf
other thing.
Out to the outer world.
Obviously, they're going to try and find her, but let's be honest, Hunter, Wrecker, and Crosshair are going to be taken into custody now. So there's no way they're going to fight their way out of that. Maybe with the little seed planted into Wolf, maybe he gets in contact with Rex, and Rex comes and saves Wrecker, Hunter, and that, and then have the info then at that point to try and go get Omega. There's going to be some try and break out Omega, but it's got to also get to the point where they've got to get out of their situation first.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think you're right. It could, this all could end with a situation of like there's Rex, Gregor, Wolf, maybe a couple other clones. Numbers are thinned. They've kind of stopped Project Necromancy for now, thinking they've defeated it, but it's kind of just going to get mothballed. And then that's kind of where it then leads us into the rest of the time, I guess, in between.
Yeah. I mean, we've still got, what, 5 episodes left of this show?
Yeah, I think we've got 3 and then a finale double.
Season 3 episode schedule. Let's have a little look here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more episodes.
Oh, so 2.
No more double bills.
Oh, no more double bills. Okay, I thought we had a double
Nope.
at the end.
The last episode is May the 1st.
Ah.
So we've got Juggernaut next week, Into the Breach the week after, Flash Strike the week after that, and the Cavalry has arrived the week after that. Hot take. Are you ready for me to get meta as fuck? The Cavalry has arrived. Some bounty hunters turn up to help, including Fennec Shand. Fennec Shand is voiced by, or was played in live action by, I think she voiced her as well.
Yeah, I think she just voiced her as well. I forget her name.
Yeah, Ming Nam Wee. I might have butchered that. I'm so sorry if I have. Who, of course, is the only actress who's been in Marvel, Star Wars, and been a Disney princess because she voiced Mulan. But in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., she played Melinda May, who was known as the Cavalry.
Oh, that is
my meta hot take. That is my meta hot take. I'm probably off, but it could be dope.
Going off those titles, it's going to be something like next episode is Rex finding out and some situation there. Then it's going to be getting Wrecker and all them out. Then it's going to be figuring out a plan. And then Cavalry arrive, I think, is them attacking the facility. And shit's going to go down. That's my prediction.
I agree. It's not going to be good.
Yes. No, I don't think it is.